Hello friends, welcome back to another section with that of dentistry and more. Okay, so today we are going to learn in detail about dental anatomy and histology, 10 important long essays. Okay, so those for the first year students, the syllabus will be new to them. So you can follow this particular video to understand which are the 10 most must know long essays which are routinely asked in the question papers, okay, under the Kuhas University. Okay, so to know more, to study in detail about dental anatomy and histology, you can download Dental Formula app, which is available in Play Store for Android users. Okay, so you can click the link which is given in the description box. You can install the app, and within the app for very low price, the dental anatomy and histology along with the subject orthodontics is available under rupees 1500. Okay, also subscribe to both the channels, dentistry and more channel, as well as dental formula YouTube channel. Okay, so this will give you more and more free informations. Just subscribe and put notification, okay, the bell icon, you will get notified soon. Okay, so let's move on to the first important long essay. So coming on to the long essays, the first important one is you have to learn for any exam, Kuhas University exam, the long essay will contain one morphology question. Okay, so they will usually ask you morphology of central incisors or that of maxillary canine, okay, permanent maxillary canine, or they will ask you in detail about morphology about maxillary first as well as mandibular second premolar, or they can even ask you about maxillary or mandibular first molar. So these are the important tooth which you have to you should be by heart about the morphology. So one question will be about morphology and the other questions can be any of the other. So the morphology question can be that of a central incisor or a maxillary canine, or usually they ask maxillary or mandibular first molars. Clear? And very important, you should also know about maxillary first premolar as well as mandibular second premolar. Now the second important question in the chapter oral mucosa, you should know which are the types of oral mucosa, whether it is a specialized mucosa, okay, and whether it is a keratinized mucosa or a non-keratinized mucosa. So that classification is given in the textbook, Wheeler's textbook. So the classification of, or as well as Orban's also it is given. So the classification of, more specifically in Orban's text it is given. So the classification of oral mucosa is very important, okay. And you should also study about the histology of gingiva, as otherwise they can ask you about the histology of tongue. Okay, both of them are very important. So specialized structure, so they can ask you either histology of gingiva, or they will ask you the histology of tongue. These two questions can also be asked as short essay questions, so you should be thorough. If you study the single question, you can answer it very easily if it is being asked in the short essay. The third important question is from the periodontal ligament chapter. Okay, so under the periodontal ligament chapter, you should be very thorough about the functions of periodontal ligament. Okay, it is usually asked as a note. Then you should know about what are the cells present in the periodontal ligament as well as the fibers of periodontal ligament, especially the principal fibers of periodontal ligament. Okay, so that is the third important question. So same thing repeats here. Okay, the same question can be asked in the short essay also. The fourth important question is from that of the enamel chapter. You should be thorough about amelogenesis. What is amelogenesis? Okay, as well as the life cycle of a ameloblast. A very clean diagram, a very important picture is given in Orban's text. So thorough study though that diagram, and if you draw the diagram itself, we will fetch around 3 marks. So the stages in life cycle of ameloblast is very, very important. The next question is from the chapter tooth development. In under that chapter, all the stages of tooth development is important, because one or the other can be asked as a short essay also, they can be asked in short notes also, and they can even be asked as a main MCQ, okay, MQ question. So stages of tooth development, you know what are the different stages: bud stage, cap stage, early build stage, and advanced build stage. So you should be thorough about what is happening in each stage, and you should be thorough about the histology diagram. Okay, diagrams are very, very important. So since first years you will not be very used to the university exam, that is why I'm explaining it in detail. Diagrams in case of dental subjects, diagrams are very, very important, be it anatomy or physiology, or whether it is dental anatomy, or whether any subject of that matter, you should be thorough about the diagrams. Especially histology diagrams are very important in dental anatomy. The sixth important question is from the eruption chapter. Okay, eruption, you should be thorough about the theories of eruption. Under that theories itself, either they can ask you all the theories of eruption as single question, or they can even pick one of the theory like matrix vesicle theory. Any such theory, they can root resorption theory. Any one single theory they can ask for 5-mark question. So if you study the theories, you can be sure you will be able to write in short essays also if they ask you separately as matrix vesicle theory or any other theory. The seventh important question is enamel. From the enamel chapter, you should know the properties of enamel, composition of enamel, structure, and especially the hypocalcified structures of enamel are very important. They can ask you in 5 marks also, 3 marks questions also, short note also they can ask you. So just learn about the properties, composition, structure, and hypocalcified structures. The next important question is classification of salivary glands. Okay, which is very easy because you learn it in anatomy also, which are the salivary glands. So you should know what are the salivary glands, and you should know histology wise what is important for us in case of dental anatomy, the histology. So what is the difference between two types of SNI, serous SNI and mucous SNI? Diagrams are very important. You should draw a very neat diagram serous SNI and very neat diagram of mucous SNI. Then a note they can ask you about the ductal system of salivary glands. A very clean diagram is given in Orbens. So learn that diagram and draw it. Okay. Then next, difference between deciduous and permanent dentition. Because since you are first year students, you should be able to differentiate between the deciduous tooth and a permanent tooth when it is being shown to you as Potter. So you should be able to easily identify. So you should know the difference between, main difference between a deciduous dentition and a permanent dentition. Okay, very important question. And lastly, the difference between, within canine itself, we should know the difference between a maxillary canine and a mandibular canine. Okay, so that also comes under dental anatomy only. Okay, not histology. So under the anatomy in velars, you have differences which is given between maxilla and mandibular. Okay, the canine is very important tooth. It is a corner tooth. So canine, you should be very thorough. Okay, even they can ask you as morphology MQ question. I told you before. So these are the 10 important long essays. You should be very thorough before going for the exam. Okay, so just 2 days before the exam or 10 days before the exam, if you're confused what is to be learned, what you are nowhere with the preparation, then you can go with this video, study all these questions thorough by heart, make note. Okay, very important, make note, because textbooks are very vast. So what you can do, you can make notes of these questions. How, if the same question comes for university exam, how you're going to write? So it's very important you write, you make your own notes. So if you make a note of your own, what happens? You learn. Okay, you learn to draw, you learn to write. Okay, so you learn the vocabulary. So it's very important. Making notes by yourself is very important. So these are the 10 important long essays in case of dental anatomy and histology, with the reference to the past 6 to 10 years question papers of Kuhas University. Okay, so this is with reference to the past 10-year question paper. So they can even ask you any other question other than these 10, but at least be thorough with these 10 questions. Okay, clear? Now, as I told you before, Dental Formula app is a very simplified app which is present in Play Store. You can easily install. It is a free app which is available in Play Store. Install the app. Under that, you can send a message to them, which is the course which you want to study. Okay, if you want to have mainly that of oral anatomy lectures will be given to you. Okay, so it is there in both the languages, English as well as Malayalam. So if you are very not sure about the language, if you want to understand better in Malayalam, you can also subscribe, or you can even buy that particular oral anatomy course which is being explained in Malayalam. So you will get a rough idea, okay, about what is oral anatomy, what are the questions, how do you write, all these things. It will be, and the portions, everything is very easily covered. And also subscribe to the channel, okay, both Dentistry and More as well as A Dental Formula YouTube channel. Just subscribe and put the notification button. You will easily get notified. Watch the video. If it's easy and if it's useful for you, put the like button, okay, so that the YouTube will understand you like such topics. Okay, so they will put more and more such topics into their browse list. Okay, so thank you guys. Thanks a lot.